What is up, everybody? It's Steve here today. So we're going to talk about the former EA CEO, John Riccitello, I believe that's what his last name is, who was complaining about devs who don't add microtransactions to their games, and he calls those devs who don't add microtransactions some of the biggest effing idiots ever. So apparently, if you're not super greedy and just want to make a good game, you're an effing idiot, according to this former CEO, might I add there. So there's a reason probably why he got the boot right there, because I mean, wow. So, I guess the greediness got to him. He got the boot, because that is kind of crazy, because it's not like, hey, maybe the game should just be good. We shouldn't just focus on just try to overcharge our customers for each nickel and dime them constantly for different stuff that's in the game. Just make a good quality game. That's all you gotta do. But nope, apparently to this guy, you need to keep charging them constantly. And so, even though he's a former CEO, that mind state is still kind of at EA, because the most recent controversy EA had, they got a lot of backlash on social media, was that they made the statement, they was following some stupid trend, was saying, hey, a girl is a 10. Well, she's not a girl, isn't a 10 if she has some type of trait attached to it as like a negative one. So they was following the whole trend and said, she's not a 10 if she plays only single player games or something like that. So this is kind of in the same instance, because single player games, you can't really monetize those games like you can a multiplayer game. Like mostly the multiplayer games are the most successful games for these different companies. So like Fortnite, Call of Duty, GTA Online, because they have the multiplayer component, you can keep charging for them. But the single player games, you can't really do that. So that mind state that you got to keep charging your fan base is still kind of at EA in a sense. So, and it's kind of sad, because we have seen so many great single player games that have come out, been extremely well, and the company has done pretty well for the company, but they're still in the mindset, especially at EA, that they need to constantly charge people for content like microtransactions or DLC. I mean, DLC isn't that bad, but when you constantly got nickel down people for microtransactions, loot boxes, it's kind of a problem. So this was a lot of backlash people had about this guy's comment right here. And then again, he is an ex-CEO, so who really cares? At the end of the day, he doesn't work at EA, but people were still upset about this nonetheless. So let's see what people got to say. Ironic. They created Battlefield 2042. EA can't say S about how video games should be made at this very moment, I'm afraid. Yeah, I don't think that game did too well. Yeah, I remember at one point they was blaming Halo for Battlefield 2042 not doing well. So, same company that releases the exact same sports games every year for $60. Well, $70 now. How to make people hate EA even more? Yeah, I mean, this is definitely not good publicity, but once again, he doesn't work at EA, so I mean, he was ex CEO, so he's calling people idiots for not being greedy. How ironic. Money wise, he's right. Customer wise, he's wrong. And this is why we have Diablo Immortal. Yeah, a game that has pretty much bad press, because they're constantly charging their customers ridiculous prices for the content in that game. So, and I don't think they're doing too well at Activision right now for that game either. They're getting a lot of bad press for that game too, because they're constantly charging people. They got constant microtransactions in that game. So that is an example of a game that is not doing too well because of microtransactions. So, honestly, he means from a business standpoint, Fortnite has made more for microtransactions. Then Fortnite is free though. Fortnite is a free-to-play game, so they kind of it makes sense for them to charge because it's free. So it's a big difference there. He looks like he would say those exact words completely unironically. How many microtransactions did Elden Ring have? Yeah, that is true. That game is doing extremely well right now. I think it's one of the highest selling games of this year. And has 0 microtransactions. So that shows that you don't need to be super greedy and add microtransactions to your game for it to do well if it is a good quality game. So facts from business POV. Problem is devs focus so much on microtransactions that the very game in which those are implemented is just worthless. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just take a look at a random EA ironically game and you'll have it. Yeah. From a pure monetization view, sure, but guess what? Well, guess what? Most make games because they are artists, not people wanting to make a quick buck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these guys just want to make art. They want to make good stuff. So it's like, it just kind of sucks. They got to add the whole like we got to keep trying to find ways to charge our audience more, as that's what's being pushed on these developers, which kind of just truly sucks. Of course, the CEO will say S like this. Crazy how Elden Ring didn't do this, and that is one of the most popular games out right now, and it's crushing sales numbers. Like once again, it is definitely doing crazy sales numbers right now. Don't think I'm ever gonna buy an EA game again because of Jedi Survivor. Okay. So EA is saying, "Am I so out of touch?" Nope, it's the gamers who are wrong. Yeah. He is right from an income standpoint, they are very lucrative. From a user perspective, it sucks big time though, and I'm all for developers minimizing or eliminating them, but money talks, yeah. This is why he's a former CEO. Microtransactions were the worst thing to happen ever. The worst thing to happen to gaming. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they are optional, so I don't know if they're the worst thing to happen to gaming. To be honest, if you were to examine gaming as a whole, I don't think they're the worst thing. I would probably say loot boxes because that's kind of like gambling, and I think people get more addicted to that than anything. Like especially like little kids probably addicted to loot boxes than anything. I think that's probably worse. But I mean, microtransactions is optional, so I don't know. Even though loot box is optional too, but you know. And this is why barely anyone likes EA, that mindset. This just in, the CEO only cares about money. Yeah, people are pretty much being repetitive at this point, so I think we get the gist of it, but yeah. Definitely a crazy, well not as, I guess it's not really shocking because he is a CEO, their whole purpose is to make money for the company, but that kind of ruins the artistic point of the part of the developer's vision when they're making these games though. It's like, they gotta constantly shove microtransactions in the mix, even though their vision don't revolve around that, so that definitely sucks, but yeah. And this is a reason why he's probably the ex-CEO as well too, because it's kind of crazy. Like, you will focus microtransactions in the jeopardy of like butchering a good game. It's kind of probably why the Avengers, the most recent Avengers game didn't work out too well, because they kind of focus more on microtransactions than actually making the game be a long-lasting great game. So yeah, that's not a good look right there. So definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this guy's statement. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know your comments down below about this. Leave a like if you like this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.